I am still in awe that I lost 7 pounds within 3 days. And one of the most significant things that I noticed when I did this 3-day cleanse was I was not as sweaty nor musty. There's a deodorant that I have been trying to use for over a year and it just wouldn't work. I was like, I am just at the end of the day too musty, too stinky. I'm having to take like 2 showers. This is not working. Baby, when I did this cleanse, I didn't have to worry about that because my pits were not as funky at all. It had no smell at all. Like it didn't stink. Um, 3 days. So, hi guys, my name is Jasmine Lowry. I am so excited that you are here and welcome, welcome, welcome to our community where we talk all things Christian holistic lifestyle. So, that means knitting your faith into all areas of your life. And I was not going to be a hypocrite, okay? If we talk about knitting our faith into all areas of our life, that means our health is included. So for myself, I knew I was not feeling good. I did not have the best rhythms and routines as far as eating went. I want to say it was June of this past year, I had a miscarriage. And when I had a miscarriage, your body naturally goes through all of the hormonal things. It doesn't matter how much you love the Lord, you still got a body. And you have to take care of it. And I found myself just comforting myself through food. And, there's nothing wrong with enjoying yummy and delicious things here and there, but in moderation, right? It is not wise to just excessively consume anything, right? That could be TV, that could be, we could continue the list going on. But for myself, once my kids went back to school and I had a little bit more space at home because I'm a full-time mompreneur, I began to reflect on what my personal goals were and how I, as a woman of God, as a mom, as a wife, could show up not only just for my family better, but also myself and represent God in a better light. Because guess what? When you're consuming all of those sweets and all those other treats, it does impact the way that you show up in the world. And for myself, I was not fitting my clothes the same. I was a lot more tired. I mean, as a mom, you're already going to be very tired, but something had to happen. So, with all of that being said, I was actually inspired by another mom who had shared she did a cleanse, a juice cleanse. I've never done anything like this before in my life. I did not have like a specific rule book that I went by. I legit went to my local supermarket and picked up my favorite veggies, mainly veggies. So I had cucumbers, I had zucchini, I had squash, carrots, spinach, and then I had a few apples, red delicious apples. I love those. I had blueberries, and I did not use my husband's juicer because he has a pretty nice juicer. I decided I wanted to blend it up. I used a blender. I'm big on, and some of you may be like, look, that's not my testimony, and that's okay. But just that process of going through all of the motions of literally putting everything in the blender after which I'll do part 2, so I'll share more in depth of how I did it. But putting all of my goodies, all my fruits, not fruits, all my veggies within the blender, blending that thing up, and then I added water, of course, and then I used a strainer, and I was able to strain it out. And this is what I was doing to get the juice that I needed. And like I said, I will share more for you guys in part 2 of this journey of my 3-day cleanse. Within this 3-day cleanse, I lost a total of 7 pounds, which was significant. Why was it significant? Because I legit felt better. Mood wise, even in my mind was clearer. I was more confident. I could fit my favorite jeans again. I have varicose veins, and I noticed that the varicose vein that was really like irritated and protruding, it was not as swollen. The varicose vein was not as swollen. I mean, I tell you guys, I didn't even catch that until several days later. I was telling my husband, like, whoa, like even the swelling in my hands. And it's like we underestimate how salty the processed foods that we consume are and what it's doing to our body. Oh my goodness. And one of the most significant things that I noticed when I did this 3-day cleanse was I was not as sweaty nor musty. There's a deodorant that I have been trying to use for over a year, and it just wouldn't work. I was like, I am just at the end of the day too musty, too stinky. I'm having to take like 2 showers. This is not working. Baby, when I did this cleanse, I didn't have to worry about that because my pits were not as funky at all. It had no smell at all. Like it didn't stink. Did I sweat? I did sweat, but not as much. That was enough for me. I had seen what I needed to see to say I need to change my diet. It was that was one big thing. I also saw within my face, I could see slimming down a bit in my face, and I'm only 5'2", so I'm a shorty. I am not very tall, so I had packed on weight to the point where I'll just say this: I don't have like a specific weight that I feel like I have to be, but you know, within the 140 range would be nice. I was getting to almost mid 160. So with that, I knew I was like, there's something that I personally would like to do. So during the cleanse, I did not want to do rigorous exercising because I felt that if I were to do that, then I might pass out somewhere, and I didn't want to pass out somewhere. So I just would take a nice walk with my daughter. And I remember just getting like day 2, like a burst of energy. And you're so sensitive to everything around you. You're so sensitive and just awaken even like spiritually during that time, because it is a sacred thing. It is a way for you to connect with the Lord in a new and a fresh way. And I wanted to share 3 scriptures with you all if you're deciding to go on this 3-day cleanse, to really encourage you, to really remind you to stay rooted, to stay connected and plugged into the Lord during this time. Because outside of my devotional time with the Lord, I would just find myself just praying and praising God more. Singing with my kids on the way to school, which some of you guys I'm sure saw my Worship Wednesday videos. I did that. I brought my Bible in the carpool line because in addition to not eating food and just doing this cleanse, I decided to unplug drastically from social media. Like I only gave myself like maybe 5 or 10 minutes on social media, when as a content creator, I could easily spend hours on social media, even if it's just answering DMs and things. So it was certainly a sacred thing. It was what's another word that I could use? Consecration. That's the word. All right. So here are the scriptures. It says Romans 12:1. Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. So offering our bodies as what? As a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing. So when we care for our bodies, when we care for our temples, and I remember making a post about this years ago, it is a form of worship unto God. We're telling the Lord, I know that my body is not my own, and in view of that, in light of that, I'm going to be mindful of how I'm caring for it. Am I just going to be drinking and smoking and sleeping and eating and doing any and everything I want to do with it? Absolutely not. If you knew that something was not your own, if someone says, hey, can you hold my purse for me? Right? And you're like, sure, I'll hold it for you. And you go and you just take that person's purse and just drag it through the mud, stomp on it, or even something even more precious as someone's child. Like, of course, some people have mental issues, but I'm saying if someone asks you to watch their child, you would want to treat that child with extra TLC and care the same way you'd want someone to treat your own child. So that's why I love Romans chapter 12, verse 1. Then we have another powerful verse, which is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 29. It says, no one hates his own body, but feeds and cares for it, just as Christ cares for the church. So it's important that when you hear that, you're remembering that staying healthy is a form of worship. Being mindful of, our body, paying attention, are your hands looking a bit more swollen? Are you having certain pains in your body? I'm big on deliverance. I'm big on, inner healing, and just paying attention to what areas do we need the Lord to come in and restore us and make us new? Maybe what are some things that we could have potentially opened ourselves up to that caused us to go down this unhealthy spiral, this unhealthy road of excessive eating? Get to the root of it. I knew for myself, the miscarriage was very, very hard on me. And I didn't realize how it was causing me to overeat. I hear my daughter crying downstairs, so I'm going to actually have to wrap this video up. But I pray that this video has really encouraged you and it inspires you to slow down, seek God, and see what ways that you can better take care of your temple. Until next time, I love you, but God loves you more. And don't forget to subscribe.